Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be working on the train station once again. Pretty recently we worked on it and we changed up the layout a little bit. We added these two structures in for staircases so that minifigures could go down them, walk under the train tracks, and then pop back out the other side to access this platform here. And we also moved this platform from the middle to the outside here. But we're going to change that one more time. I don't love these, and I've been sitting on it for a couple of weeks now, and honestly, it's just not doing it for me. I think we can do so much better. So in this video, we're going to take those apart, and we are going to upgrade the access to these platforms here. So let's just jump right in. So like I said, my main goal for today is to take those two structures out and to also modify the ends of the platforms here, because I think I'm going to add in the ramps for each end of the platform. I did buy a bunch of slopes and also inverted slopes in one of my recent Bricklink orders. And so the two of these, or these two different types of pieces right here, are going to help in making that happen. And also, I might be considering adding in a footbridge over the tracks. I know that was something I said I didn't want to do because I didn't think I could make it look good, but that is what today's video is for. We're going to actually try it because I was just kind of thinking about it in my head and I wasn't a huge fan of it. And so we're going to actually try and make a physical model of that today as well. So there's a lot to do, and I've been talking for quite a bit at this point. So let me just get started. I'm going to take that section of the platform out and also that one over there as well. I'm going to take those out and we're going to start making that ramp, and then we can extend this path a little bit and we will take it from there. All right, so I took both ends of both of the platforms out, and I'm starting to work on the wider one because I figured that would be easier. And everything that I'm trying here, I'm trying a bunch of different techniques to figure out the angle that I want and to attach the plate and to make the sides look good, but I just can't seem to get anything that looks right. And so I don't normally time lapse that sort of stuff, but I wanted to kind of show you guys my thought process for this sort of thing. And so I am here with honestly nothing, to be honest with you. There's no real ideas here, like you can see from that time lapse. I thought I had a couple of good ideas, but it just doesn't seem to be working out all that good. And so there's a lot of different stuff in here. And so that's why I don't normally time lapse this kind of stuff, because it's not like I know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just experimenting and taking stuff apart, putting it together again, and then trying all these different things. And so you essentially just watch the same thing over and over and over again, which is why I didn't want to make the time lapse too long. But this is kind of where I'm at with it. And so essentially what this is just some 1x3 slopes, and then the curved slope at the top there, which I would swap out for light gray if I go with this design, and then the 2x4 plate, and then the hinge, and then this just sits right on that. That's it, to be honest with you. And the reason there's no slope here is because this side has the Mills plate on it from the train station. As you can see, if it wants to focus, there we go. So that was another challenge, was to get this to line up with both of those. So again, I don't know. It's really tough to try and figure this out. I'm sure other people have done it, but I don't want to look at anyone else's stuff. I want to kind of just do it on my own. So that's where I'm at. I could try a couple different techniques. I also have inverted slopes. So instead of attaching the slopes to the platform, I could attach the slopes to the angle, and then I can just kind of worry about that. But then I have to put tiles underneath, and it's a whole thing. So that might not be the best move, but I might end up trying it anyways, because this clearly did not go super well. So, and also another thing that I don't know if you saw during that time lapse was I was trying to figure out how to get a smooth transition from this to this. And I thought curved slopes might be it, but they don't attach fully. And even if you place them the other way, still the same thing. And you could put a tile in between here, but that doesn't look right either. So there's a lot of stuff here that is just not ideal, but I am going to try a couple other things and I'll let you know what I find. And so this is what I've gotten so far. I think it looks okay, but there's definitely some things that I want to improve about it. Namely is actually these tiles right on the side here, the ones that are in dark gray. Personally, I'm not a fan of how that whole shape is looking right now. I want it to be a lot more smooth because as it is right now, it's kind of jagged. And so I'm not happy with this, but I think we can definitely do better. And so actually this was the next design that I came up with here, and I'm much happier with this. I think this looks a lot nicer. The only thing about it is that there is a little bit of a gap between the cheese slope and the flat side of the platform, and there's nothing I can really do about that, so that's just gonna have to stay as it is. But the curved slope on the edge of the platform, I think looks okay. I don't love it, but I think it's better than just leaving the tiles straight across. So that's how that is going right now. I don't have any light gray slopes for the top to blend the two sections together, but overall, I think this is actually starting to shape up really nicely. All right, so pretty much what I'm doing here is I am just removing those old structures because I am not a fan of them, and those are not living to see the end of this episode here. So taking those out, and I will be reusing those pieces elsewhere. And I'm essentially just taking out the tiles for that path going across the train tracks here. I might add it back, and I am not totally sure about that though, but you can see the far platform and you can see how it looks in the city, and I think it looks pretty good, and so I'm happy with it. And so now that that is good, we can start to work on the other platform, and there's a lot more work to do with that one, so I'll show you that right now. All right, so this is where we're currently at with the other side of the platform. As you can see, I had to make it 2 studs wider so that it matched the other side, and I think this looks a lot nicer. I'll show you guys this new width, or I guess the standard width, next to the thinner side of the platform in just a second here, but I think it looks good, and obviously it just looks the same as the other one. And this is a shot of the underside right here, and that is basically what it looks like. It's just the same as the other side. It's just mirrored, I guess, and so that is pretty much it. But I think this looks good, and I added the rail plate at the bottom just to kind of eliminate the gap in between the ramp and the ground, because a full 8x8 plate wouldn't fit there, and then this 6x8 plate and the rail seems to work pretty good. All right, here we go. It is now almost done, except for the curved slopes here in light gray. I did manage to get enough 2x2 tiles, surprisingly, but that is because I took out that path right there. So that's where all the tiles went, and so that is pretty much that. And so now we can place this into the city here and see how it looks. And also I can show you guys how this looks next to the other platform. So this one right here that you're looking at is the same width as the standard platform that is over there. And this was the width of the platform that was in the middle between the two tracks and is now on the outside. So I think having that extra width there makes it look really, really nice. And here's just a different angle of that for you, just so you can kind of see. But I think that looks really, really good. Now, the only thing is that since I took the path out from the rails here, I do have to decide what I'm going to do there. I could add it back, or what I could do is I could just add the 1x4 tiles in and then go like this. But if I decide to do that, then I'm going to have to change the placement of all of these 1x4s, stretching from here all the way over to there. So that is a lot of tiles to move around, but I think it'll be worth it if I decide to remove that walking path. I'm going to think about it for a few, just because that's a lot of work to do and undo. But yeah, I think it'll look fine regardless, and so I'm really happy with this. And so now that this is done, let me go ahead and widen up this platform as well. I'm not going to have enough tiles to do the whole thing, unfortunately, but I can definitely get the base wider, and then that'll give me a good idea of how many tiles I need to order. And then we can start worrying about that footbridge that's going to go across the top. All right, so now this platform is secured onto the base plate, and the entire stretch of platform has been widened and is also back onto the respective base plates as well. And I did kind of reshuffle some of the tiles here, so pretty much from where I'm missing the curved slopes all the way down to about here is where I had enough tiles. And then the rest of this, which I think is about 40-ish, 42 maybe tiles, I will have to order because I am pretty much completely out. So gonna have to order those. And then also I have to find one more 1x2 tile, but I should have one, so that's not a problem. But I think this looks so much better. And so if you take a step back here, it is a little bit of a mess going on here, but I think this looks so much better. And I'm really happy with that. And so I think it looks good. And so now that the platforms are ready, we can finally start to talk about that bridge because honestly, I still don't know what it's going to look like. To be honest with you, I kind of want to use the pre-molded stair pieces just because if I don't, I feel like the whole thing is going to get really bulky really fast. And so I think those pre-molded stairs are my best bet. And so I'm going to bring those out. I'm going to try and make something here. And I won't finish it all in one or between the clips, but I'm going to at least get started. And hopefully it turns out at least kind of decent. But if not, then I guess we'll figure that out. So let me go ahead, let me grab some pieces, and I will get to building. All right, so this is what it is currently shaping up to be. Again, this is a very rough draft at the moment. I'm definitely going to have to order pieces for this, and I'll talk about that in just a minute here. But this is kind of the design that I was thinking of in my head here. So it's these two pre-molded stair pieces on each side, and then I'm using these door pieces here, the 1x4x6, as supports. I could use these pieces here, but I don't have many in black, and they're also 10 bricks tall instead of the 12 that I need to get up to that height. And so I think this looks good. I could also go ahead and add in like lattice pieces in there. They're relatively newer pieces, but I could get those and add those in as well. And I think that would add to it. And then the pedestrians would walk up, walk across, and then walk back down. It is pretty tall, but it gives plenty of clearance. As you can see, this is the Horizon Express, and this is the coaches for the Orient Express here. So plenty of room. So I could also, on top of building the walls on either side, I could also add details underneath just to thicken it up a little bit and make it look a little bit nicer. So that is definitely something to do, and it also doesn't obstruct the view as much as I thought it would. And so as for the types of pieces that I would need to order, again, those lattice like fence pieces that go in the window inserts, I would order those maybe. It entirely dependent on what colors they have. I don't think they make them in black, but at least like a dark gray or like a gunmetal gray or something like that, I think would look pretty cool. And then these panels right here in black, I think would also be really useful to order. And then so that would make up the walls on either side of the walkway. I was going to make it 4 studs wide, but I ended up going with 6. I think that looks a little bit better. And so I don't think it actually looks too bad. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I think it looks pretty decent. And so that is kind of where I'm at with it. I'm going to see what other pieces I have in my collection. I know for a fact I don't have any of those panels in black, so I would have to order those. But I want to see if I can add any other pieces to this to make it look a little bit better than this. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will show you what I come up with. All right, so this is how it's shaping up so far. I went ahead and I added some Technic bricks under here, and I think I could do something pretty cool with that, where I add Technic pins and then tiles on the front, and then I could even get my own custom stickers for like a station name. I think that could be pretty cool. And then on the underside, I just used a bunch of inverted pieces. Let me see if I can get the camera down under there. All the pieces are in black, so it's kind of hard to see. But I think it looks pretty good, and it looks better, I think, with having 3 supports like you can see here. So there's 3 stacks, or yeah, 3 stacks of 2 window frames tall. And then I only have 2 on that side because I need to find 2 more. But I am pretty sure I have 2 more. I just need to go through my bin some more. But I think this looks good. I also tacked down each of the points of contact with the platform here. And so now all of this is in, and it looks pretty good. And I think it looks good. The only thing is I also tried adding these fences up top here because I have a bunch of them. And if it saves me a bunch of money on having to buy the panels, like the gondola car over there, then maybe I'll do it, but I don't think it looks that great. So I'm probably going to stay away from these for the time being. I think the panels would look a lot nicer. So I'm probably going to end up buying the panels. I just have to count exactly how many I need. But that's not the end of the world, and they're not super expensive anyways, so I'm not worried about it. in connecting these to the platform, I did also get a few tiles back as well, so I can add that to the platform where I'm missing some. So that is really nice to see as well. There are also a few other things that I need to factor in as well, including the handrails for each side of the staircase, and also the panels like I had mentioned earlier, and the fence pieces that can go into the window frames, and there's a couple other things as well that I would need to factor in, but overall I think this is looking pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out, surprisingly. And there is obviously a lot of work to do on this, but this is a great start, and so I'm pretty happy with how this is starting to shape up here. All right, so this is what it looks like now, and as you can see, the train runs under it with no problem, which is really nice to see. And I did manage to find 2 more of those door frames, so that's all good, and I think this looks really nice. The only thing is that I need the curved slopes for this and to finish up that one as well. And then obviously the tiles on the right side of the platform there. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this, and this gives me actually a general idea of what pieces I need to order. So that is really good, and so I'm going to go ahead and start counting all of those up. But that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on the footbridge that goes over the platform and also the modifications we made to the platform itself, make sure to drop a comment down below. This turned out very, very nice, at least for me personally. I'm very happy with how this is looking. It looks a lot better than it did in my head, so I'm really happy with this. And seriously, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to let the train run by one more time here, but that's all I have to say. So thank you guys again, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.